Hey, Puppy Trades! I wanted to do a video analysis update of Ethereum because I think it's done something interesting on not only the long-term chart but also the daily chart. So we're going to get into the daily chart of Ethereum soon. But let's talk about the big picture first. I believe this is a large wave one that's very cleanly subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. This is a large wave one, and we have an ABC correction where the length of wave A is the same as the length of wave C placed at the wave B high. So we have a wave C that ends where the length of wave A placed at the wave B high is met. So that's called the 100% extension. And then if we zoom in to the daily chart, I think that we've ended a large degree wave 2, and then we've also begun a small wave 1 and wave 2 from this low. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to go live here because I think there's an interesting count in the short term when we look at this Ethereum chart, and obviously that's going to be very important for the broad market crypto bulls and the bears. So if we look at Ethereum, the 161.8% extension of this wave one right here could take it to about it could take it to about 2,700. Let me get these exact levels right here. We have 2,028.650, 2,028.650, and then we also have 883.159. So we have 883. So if we look at this, then that exact kind of 161.8% extension for wave 3 is 2,736. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of map out what this could look like. And I'm going to get what I call a little cute. The reason that I call getting into the short-term time frames getting a little cute is because I'm more interested in the big picture of what Ethereum and Bitcoin could become. And one way that I lock in a lot of gains is by having a lot of holdings that sell options, covered calls on growth, related sectors, like OARK that sells covered calls through a synthetic option strategy on ARK, like Tesla, like QYLG and QYLD. So in RYLD in general for the small caps. I'm in BITO and I'm in Litecoin, but I think that Ethereum is giving an important kind of indicator right now of what it's rare that a wave theorist says the word confirmation. I think Ethereum gave a little bit of confirmation for the bulls, and that's why I'm making this video, because for me, what I found myself charting this or just looking at this a lot last night, so I thought I would post about it. So if we look at this kind of picture for Ethereum, I'm not going to be trading these corrective waves that we call them. Wave 2 and wave 4 are the corrective waves in Elliott wave theory. They're subdivided into ABC corrections. But if I'm just kind of, playing around a little bit, maybe what we could see for Ethereum in, kind of a daily perspective is something like this, where this is a wave 1 and a wave 2 from this low. And then what we did last night was we broke above this high from mid-August 2022. So if this is wave 1 and wave 2, the 161.8% extension is 2,736. Then we could have a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. Now, Ethereum is a very kind of high beta, security. It's extremely volatile. And so a lot of times when a stock like that gets into an impulse, I'm a lot less reluctant to look for a huge wave 4 or a huge wave two. This is something that, if this is a big picture wave three in progress, Ethereum can get running. And so, can Bitcoin, obviously, if that was going to happen. But this is kind of just what I wanted to map out. I'm normally a big picture, long term person. I think a lot of people are more interested in the short term, weekly perspective. And when I do have kind of an opinion on that, what I think we did recently was we broke above a pretty important high. Um, you know, And I think breaking above this wave one high suggests that it's within a wave three, um, that could take Ethereum all the way up towards 3,000 on the kind of weekly, you know, multi-month perspective. And then if this is a large wave one, we got to have a wave two, and a wave three higher. I think what the bigger message is, though, is that if we look at a lot of these other cryptos, um, Bitcoin and Ethereum are starting to give more and more evidence that this, could be not just a term, wave three in progress. This could be a long term, wave three in progress for Bitcoin, and for Ethereum, and, for Ripple. And this isn't, I'm not going, all in Ethereum or Bitcoin or Ripple because we've made, new highs recently. I see this sector as something that has upside risk. What really happens to me, and also what really happens to other aspects of the investing world, like 401k holders, like people who don't have any savings or investments at all. If we see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple, explode in value, right? And if you don't really understand what I'm referring to, this isn't, a lot of times when people call for the market to crash, right? The stock market's going to crash. That's, that's cautious, right? That's really safe, right? That's, you know, just in case an emergency happens, right? But it's hard for humans to think about what if an emergency happens to the upside. So when I look at crypto and I look at silver, my technical opinions are based on Elliott Wave, analyzing the options market. And I am invested in silver miners. I'm invested in gold miners. I'm invested in, crypto. And I have, a pretty detailed risk management strategy that includes straddles and covered call ETFs and stuff that I go into a lot, right? But when I look at the metals and I look at crypto, I see something a little different, where I just talked about the possibility that Ethereum and Bitcoin and Ripple could one day, right, hit all time highs. Well, we also have a possibility that metals like silver, could hit an all time high. And if we see that this is a large wave one and a wave two, that began or that ended in April of 2001, and then the wave two ended in March of 2020, then this could be another wave one and another wave two. And we could see silver enter a wave three of wave three, taking it up into the 30s. And then similar to Ethereum and Bitcoin, I'm not correlating, the metals and the crypto, but that would just be kind of a weekly target. In the long term, I'm ultimately expecting, silver is going to go to the median of this pitchfork, right? And there's kind of, I'm not going to do gold. I'll do a gold miner, Angico Eagle Mines. I think that this is a kind of an example of an explosive gold chart. So I'm invested in First Majestic Silver and Pan American Silver, and B2 Gold, ticker BTG. And I'm expecting that, a stock like, AEM, Angico Eagle Mines, a gold miner, can form a wave one and a wave two, another wave one and another wave two, and enter wave three of wave three, right? So if one day we saw a gold miner up here, and we saw silver, the metal, at an all-time high, or we saw platinum, enter a wave three. There's a very real possibility right now that at that time in the future, you know, at that time in the future, we could also be seeing the metals, um, and crypto, and other aspects of asset prices at all-time highs, but particularly for the metals, for crypto, other aspects of commodities. um, there's kind of this, and it's normally not a good idea to say this phrase, but there's kind of a new paradigm uh, view in the future where we could see platinum form a wave one, a wave two, a wave three, up to this equal X target of 144 to the 161.8% extension of 164 before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. That could take PPLT in the big picture all the way up to the 190s, especially above this wave 2 low of 76. So what I've been talking about is platinum, silver, a gold miner, Ripple, Ethereum, and Bitcoin possibly having these long term bullish outlooks firm up, right? And so, what a lot of people are going to say is, the crypto and the metals, they've had a good few weeks, right? This guy is coming out, he's saying he's real bullish, right? I get it. I have straddles, I have covered call ETFs, I have, some cash. But what I think we saw last night with Ethereum break above this wave one high is that this is a big wave three in progress. And if we see Ethereum form a wave one, a wave two, and a wave three before a shallow wave four and a wave five higher, ultimately, you know, I think pretty tight would be 1372. And that's just because crypto is pretty tight. I think, we're getting pretty far from important invalidations for crypto, right? The largest invalidation for Ethereum would be 1077, and that's a 50%, drawdown, right? Bitcoin, it's even further than that. All right. If I had to find a level, right? If I had to find a downside level, I think the best one's coming from Bitcoin right now because if we look at the short term count, it's formed a wave one and a wave two. If we measure out the 161.8% extension of this, we're getting close to it right now. Another way to find an important target from a wave one rally like this is that if wave five retests the wave one high, then if wave four retests the wave one high, and wave five is the length of wave one placed at the wave four low, then ultimately in kind of a short term 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse, we could take the length of wave one and place it at the wave one high, and that could give a target of about 35,000. But those are daily ideas. Another way to measure the wave three target is to take the 161.8% extension. Some wave theorists will use this. They'll take their extension tool, measure the length of wave one, release, and place it at the wave two low. That would give, again, a 161.8% extension target of about, 135,000. So, of about 35,000, not 135,000. So I think, some short term targets could be, Bitcoin getting up to 35K. It could be Ethereum getting up to, about 2,700. But what I'm more interested in is that if Ethereum is forming an impulse from this low. And we're starting to see, Bitcoin and Ethereum now kind of join this chorus, forming a wave one and a wave two, another wave one and another wave two, entering wave three of wave three. If we did wake up one day and Ethereum was at 2,700, to about 3K, I think just as much as, that being a nice little gain, it would also be broader confirmation that in the big picture, we've seen crypto begin something a lot larger than this, where it wouldn't be wild from an Elliott Wave perspective to think that this is a big wave three in progress. We're going to one day see the cryptos hit all time high, and I'll certainly be there to talk about that. But in the kind of shorter term picture, it could unfold like this. Again, I think this is all getting a little cute. I'm more in it for the long term. What could happen to US dollar holders? People, don't really think it's very, you know, much of a good use of time to think about, what could happen if we were one day transitioning to blockchain, getting, a serious devaluation of the, fiat currencies from the precious metals and what that could look like. But I think that Ethereum and Bitcoin and, gold and silver and platinum, they're certainly begging the question.